We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall in sin. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. We see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, come up fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. We see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Mookie here, and I'm back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had a Legion Quirk. Yep, this is the true title of this series, not that of, well, what if Izuku had that of a duplication quirk? That was just more of a way to draw people in. This is the real name. So yeah. Anyway, like I said before, this is mainly Izuku has that of multiple sentient quirks living inside of his head, after all, that can take physical form outside of his head. So yeah. Anyway, let's go to that of a quick recap for last part. Izuku Midoriya, a kid who always dreamt of wanting to be a hero, just like his idol All Might. However, it seems like life always basically decided to make his life nothing but a living hell, with his sentient quirk basically having to take time to basically fully manifest. Well, it already did manifest with the multiple voices inside of Izuku's head, forced to take medications to say that's supposed to nullify the voices in his head, which in fact are basically his quirks, which the medication was making him depressed for no reason, constantly belittled and beaten and seen as nothing but a pariah and freak in front of his peers, especially due to his former childhood best friend, Katsuki Bakugo. And with one fateful day, everything snapped with one of his sentient quirks coming that looked just exactly like him, but with red hair, basically burned all of his attackers and even possibly scarred Bakugo's face as well. And now, Izuku needs to learn on how to control his new quirk. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Days have now passed since the incident with that of Izuku awakening his sentient quirk, which now quirk registration and quirk licensing is no longer stated as pending or quirkless, as his quirk is called multi-phase. The reason on why it's called that is because of the multiple personalities explained by that of the red-haired Izuku and Izuku himself. As speaking for red-haired Izuku, instead of just calling him, well, other Izuku or red-haired Izuku or angry Izuku, as he's always constantly basically angry and snapping at people that ain't Izuku or his mom, to be honest, Izuku decided to call him Ryuji, which it fits all too well, given his angry tone, constantly snapping at people, blowing up on anybody entirely. So basically having the kanji name of Rage itself kind of fits all too well. As for the other personalities, during this time, Izuku began to slowly awaken them bit by bit. However, he has to do it under that of strict supervision. As for explanation, on the day that Izuku finally awakened his quirk, and Ryuji basically, firing at that of the two suits and a nurse as well, which thank God that the nurse didn't bother filing charges. And with the two suits actually hearing the explanation from that of Ryuji, they had that of an offer towards Izuku and his mother Inko. Within the suit saying, Izuku Midoriya, as your quirk explained, and we were listening in, our apologies for your privacy, of course. We found out, many doctors found out about your quirk's true abilities. The quirk that allows you to create that of sentient versions of yourself, creating multiple personalities that can take form in reality. It's quite amazing and well done. If anything, we of the Hero Public Safety Commission would love to help cultivate that and help allow you to grow stronger and become the hero you've always meant to be. Within hearing this, Izuku couldn't help but be smiling in happiness. As for Ryuji, he's basically skeptic of this shit while also rolling his eyes as he's basically leaning near that of the window of the hospital room. As for Inko, she couldn't help but say, what are you saying? Are you saying that you want to pay for my baby's, education to go to a hero school once he graduates from Aldera? Within the other suit saying, none of the sort, ma'am. If anything, we want to take it to a next level, possibly allowing him to become a hero even before not even needing to go to that of a hero school, a government-sponsored hero. I'm a take it that you are aware of the pro hero Hawks by any chance? With then hearing this, Izuku saying, yes, Hawks just became a hero that debuted this year. At the age of 18, he already has his own agency and he's already racking up to be part of the top 10 so quickly. He's quite amazing. With Izuku actually having stars in his eyes, however, it basically, messes up his injuries, especially around his face, as he groans a bit in pain. Within suit, Ryuji saying, see, dumbass, this is what happens when you strain yourself, all because you're too excited over something dumb, not really worth getting excited for. With then crossing his arms again, as Inko's worried for a baby. Within the suit that was speaking before saying, of course, the HPSC was able to sponsor and basically allow him to grow his abilities as the pro hero he is now. That's why we also wish to help you grow as a pro hero too. We're also aware of the incident that you may be seeing here, and that's of Aldera though. With then hearing this, Inko and Izuku could not be worried within Ryuji, narrowing his eyes at the two suits as he's basically preparing his flames as his arms are still crossed. Within suit, Inko saying, what do you mean? With then the other suit, as he couldn't help but have that of a smirk. However, it was so quick that barely anybody could notice except Ryuji. Within, his flames began to become more and more prevalent, but everyone's still unaware. Within, the agent speaking up saying, you see, even though Izuku Midoriya fought in that of self-defense, he still used his quirk his quirk still was used in a lethal way. With then soon Inko saying, but that's not Izuku's fault. You saw his injuries. You saw the beating he was going through. You saw what happened to him. Within, the agent saying, of course, we totally understand. Self-defense and quirk uses on school in that of a fellow student is totally looked down upon. But many of the parents are already calling to sue for Midoriya to be arrested and to be taken in. If that happens, he'll never be a pro hero. He'll also have that of a criminal record for illegal quirk uses and for that of assault and also attempted murder as well. Within hearing that, both Inko and Izuku couldn't help but look in that of shock and surprise. Within, the other suit saying, you're going a little too far for this, saying, we need this kid more than anything. Hawks is one thing, but this kid's quirk is a gold mine. The HPSC wants his quirk more than anything. He'll be the perfect enforcer to get rid of all of those who gets in the way of the perfect society that the HPSC is trying to will always try to create and prevent from ever being destroyed. No, nothing. This kid will be the perfect tool for that. Saying, there you go again, seeing innocent children as tools. Saying it's for the good. It's for the good of society. Simple as that. Soon he spoke up once more, saying, "But these are your options. You should allow us to, Miss Midoriya, allow us to take in Izuku Midoriya under the HPSC's wing. Allow us to train him, and then after a couple years from now, he'll become the hero he's always destined to be. While the HPSC drop all forms of charges, and your son will never see any form of jail time ever again." How does that sound? Within soon, flames begin to erupt before being sent at that of the HPSC agent. I basically seemed like he was threatening them. Seeing this happening, the agent that was trying to warn his partner step aside as the one that was fire being sent at, uses that of his hand as it soon basically turns into that of a weird material that basically covered himself as he soon begins to feel pain from that of the flames. Within soon, Ryuji speaking of saying, "You entitled son of a bitch. You think I can't tell that you're trying to manipulate both Izuku and my mother? You got another thing coming, you government stooge lapdog." Within saying, "Please stop. Midoriya, tell him to stop." Within saying, "Oh no, Izuku, don't stop me. Don't stop me at all. I'm going to burn this bastard for trying to threaten to put you in jail. For trying to manipulate the situation to join your shady government bastards." Within soon, Izuku saying, "Please, stop. Just stop." Within soon, stopping the flames. Seeing that of his quirk user, he couldn't help but click his tongue in out of annoyance and saying, "Fine, but you're lucky you got off with that of at least the light burns. Whatever your quirk is, you're lucky to even still be alive." Within say, you forget that I'm a sentient quirk. I can tell what you bastards are trying to do." Within getting closer and closer to Izuku and Inko, within being on that of Izuku's right side, saying, you want to use Izuku, or rather, the sentient versions in his head, including myself, as your little personal government lapdog sponsorship. You're probably even going to do some kind of bullshit saying that a troubled kid with that of a unstable quirk can be used as the perfect example to be a great hero in the future if you sign it with the HPSC. Am I right? The Hero Public Safety Commission can always save the day all the time. When you bastards haven't done a damn thing for those who are treated like quirkless, though. Within soon, the other agent can up and say, he's a sentient quirk, right? How does he know about all of this? Wait, if he is a sentient quirk of Midoriya, then there must be parts of Midoriya that are basically skeptic about not just the government, but possibly even heroes themselves. His main thoughts is that to be a hero and help others. From many of his old school records, from all the way from elementary school to currently now, it seems like the boy idolizes and looks up to heroes. But what if there are moments where he feels like society has abandoned him? If that's the case, then there's no way in hell we're going to be able to control those sentient quirks. Hell, if anything, we can even threaten Midoriya and try to kill him. And probably even threaten him to get his quirks in line. But even so, who knows how many sentient versions out there? How many sentient versions could basically get passed out of the HPSC and do whatever the hell they wish? Damn it. We at the HPSC just had to be greedy for somebody of his quirk. I knew this was a bad idea, damn it. Guess I better play damage control like I knew I was going to have to do. Soon, the suit from before spoke up saying, Unlike my partner's, well, deplorable actions of trying to manipulate the situation, I will give you the true facts about what's going on, Miss Midoriya and young Midoriya. The truth is, many of the students that your sentient quirk did burn are pressing charges. However, pro heroes and police are already looking through that at the school records and school tapes, even tapes going all the way back from the beginning of this year for that of the first year, around that of the first years. And we're even starting to interview many of the students. We've already figured by just your wounds alone and the actions of many of the students, we could already tell that you are a victim of bullying. Self-defense is one thing, and we could tell that it was all due to self-defense. Your quirk basically protected you against those who are using their quirks irresponsibly. If this does go to court, you will be let go. However, it would also still put you on a black mark, and society would still be wary of you. Even in this day, it's true that the quirkless are still looked down upon, and the HPSC has been trying our best to make at least life a little bit better for the quirkless. That is true, but it's easier said than done all across the world. Not to mention heteromorph quirk users, those with that of mutant type quirks, especially that of animal features, are always treated badly, especially in the countryside. Our main priority is to make the majority feel better than the minority. I'm sorry. We're still trying to make and even those with that of villainous quirks, even with people who don't even want to be villains, are persecuted as well. That's why we at the HPSC are struggling quite a bit to keep society as it being. That's why we have a program that we wish to create. A program that allows those who with that of certain types of quirks to be under our tutelage and help them grow and become stronger on the days that they become pros. Or better yet, give them at least some control over their quirks so they won't be seen as that of a danger towards society. It's still an early program, but we are at least trying. Within, soon the agent still on the ground suffering from the burns basically mentally saying, "The hell are you doing? We don't have anything like that." With then, the agent not even bothering looking at his partner, continues speaking, saying, like I said, the police will take your side. With the evidence that they see from the security cameras in the next couple of days, and if this due goes to court, you will possibly win this more than anything. The student's parents could possibly buy the best lawyers that they could find, but even so, evidence is still evidence, no matter what. But as for your time at Aldera Junior High, there's most likely you're never going to be going back to that school. With then soon Izuku saying, What do you? With then soon entering in that of the hospital room, as it being Detective Sakaguchi, with a nurse saying, "Please, sir, you don't need to go in. Sorry, like I told you, this is a police matter." With them closing the door before removing his hat and bowing himself, saying, "Sorry to barge in like this, Miss Midoriya, Mr. Midoriya." With then soon, the HPS agent still in the pain, but now on his knees, trying to get back on his legs, saying, "Detective Sakaguchi." Within soon, the other agent saying, "Right on cue. Took you long enough, Sakaguchi." Within raising his head, saying, "My name is Detective Naomasa Sakaguchi. I'm in charge of the case that's involved at your school right now, and I wish to get your statements for that of the case as well." With then soon Izuku saying, "Wait, are you?" With then soon saying, "I've made sure to get the statements from many of the others that were attacked by your quirk." Within looking at that of Ryuji, couldn't help but scoff. "But I also want to get your opinion, because I figured you are the one that will give me the better answers." each and every one of them has said the exact same thing, or rather, they tried to say the exact same thing, but their stories completely are different from one another. Especially the fact that they say that you lied about your quirk, especially one being Katsuki Bakugo. Given that, it was surprising enough that he was even able to talk with that of the multiple bandages across his face. With then suit, Izuku's eyes widening in shock, as even Inko couldn't help but be shocked too, as Ryuji couldn't help but have that of a look of smugness on his face and pride at his handiwork. With then soon, the agent from before finally get on his feet while still clutching onto his hand, saying, "Detective, can't you see that we agents have that of an important meeting with the Midoriya's right now? If you could," saying, within soon, grabbing onto his partner, saying, "We'll let you finish up your case, detective. We can talk to the Midoriya's after you're done." But then soon, his partner saying, "What are you doing? Katakuri, let go!" With then leaving out of the room. With then soon, Detective Suguchi couldn't help but smirk, saying, "Thanks again, Katakuri." Before taking a sigh, saying, "Like I said, we've looked through that of the footage. Not only that, many pro heroes and even that of other officers have been interviewing many of the students from the first years, and on the way here, I was getting that of multiple messages from that of my colleagues about their confessions and the words that they said, alongside those here in the hospital being taken after as well. And all of it all stays the same. All of it has that of the same pattern. You, Izuku Midoriya, were constantly bullied by your entire student body because they believed that you were quirkless. Am I correct?" Within, Izuku wanted to deny these claims before then soon Ryuji speak up saying, "Yeah, that's right. My user was basically belittled and treated like nothing but trash by the entire school because of him not awakening his quirk. Basically, me." With then soon hearing this, Namasa wanted to see if his quirk worked on Ryuji, and surprisingly, even for a sentient quirk, it still works. Which Namasa probably has a few theories, but right now isn't the time to think about them. With then soon Izuku saying, "What are you saying? That's not..." Within Ryuji looking down saying, "Izuku, you know it's true. You've been hiding this for too damn long. It's time for you to finally speak up just because you're afraid of ruining Bakugo's future. Newsflash, that future is possibly already over, given what I did after all." With then soon, Namasa couldn't help but wanting to speak up once again, saying, "What did you do?" I got no name, at least not yet. But as his quirk, anything that he's hiding, I can basically speak up I could speak up for him." Within soon, Izuku looking down as even Inko couldn't help but feel somewhat sad. Within saying, "Izuku, please." Within, Izuku continue looking down as tears began to come down from his eyes and began to spread across his bandages and even on his bed sheets. With then soon, Ryuji couldn't help but sigh before comforting that of his quirk user. With then soon, Namasa Suguchi saying, "I know this is probably too much, especially the ordeal that you had to go through, especially with your quirk. Possibly you might be going through a lot of mental and psychological struggles, mainly because of your quirk. From the symptoms that you're feeling right now, from that of exhaustion, mental pain, emotional damage, and everything else that is happening, it's due to that of a forced quirk awakening as well. And given everything else that is happening too, it can't be helped. So I wish to do what I can do. Please give me the information I do need for what's going on. Could you both?" Within, Ryuji saying, "I can speak. Honestly, like I said, Izuku is not really on that of speaking terms right now. he's not even able to be honest. So please, let me say everything that needs to be said. With that, soon Sakaguchi gets everything that he needs to hear from Ryuji, especially telling things from that of his past as well, trying to that answer questions from even that for that of Inko as well. Now getting the answers that he needed within, Sakaguchi couldn't help but nod, saying, "All right, thank you. With this should be able to help out in the case. Just let you know, Midoriya, I will tell you this. You have done nothing wrong. Your quirk may have went on a rampage, but when it comes to sentient quirks, they're a lot more complicated than people think they are." Within, Ryuji saying, "Trust me, it's true. Things are complicated." With then, soon, Sakaguchi couldn't help but shake his head while also nodding. "But I'm only doing my job, and I want to make sure that I know who the true victim is in this situation. And I can tell it is you. So, please keep things in date, and please stay in the hospital for the time being. As for everything else, we'll make sure that even though your attackers and bullies are here in this hospital as well, we'll make sure to keep them from you too." With then, soon hearing all this, Inko could up and say, "Thank you, Detective." With that, soon, Detective Sakaguchi leaves the room, as then Inko asking Izuku, "Why?" With then, Izuku began to tear up again, saying, "Because I didn't want to worry you. I didn't want you to constantly have to feel so much stress and pain because of me. Not only that, your friendship with that of Aunt Mitsuki and Uncle Masaru is so much more important." But then Inko placing her hands on Izuku's face, making sure not to ruffle up that of her son's bandages, with then saying, "Izuku, you're the most important thing in my life. You are my son, my precious baby boy. Just because Mitsuki and I have been friends for so long doesn't mean that I am going to put my friendship over you, my own baby." With then, Izuku began crying even more, saying, "I knew that you were suffering so much, and yet I didn't do anything about it. I should have even gone to the school and made sure that none of this would have happened. Not only that, even knowing that the medication you were taking was even worse, especially seeing your mood. I should have said something. I should have stopped, and yet I didn't do anything. I am such a terrible, terrible, terrible mother." With that, Inko began to cry even more and more. Within, Izuku saying, "No, I'm just a terrible son, worthless and useless." And with soon, Ryuji saying, those aren't your words. Those are the words of everyone, especially Bakugo. Kachan's the one who told you all of that. No one else. If he didn't start all this bullshit, none of this would have happened. And you want to try and still defend him even after what you said? The words that you said were your true self. The true things you've always wanted to say to everybody around you. And yes, even you, Mom. Because you have suffered way too much. And we have tried so hard to basically keep you intact. It's been difficult, but we've done what we could. And we don't regret it. Not one bit. So now, Izuku Midoriya, what will you do? Will you continue to hide behind that of a false hope that Kachan will come back to us? Will come back to basically being the friend that he was back when we were at least that of 3 to 4 years old? Or are you going to move forward with your life and take people like him away from out of your life entirely? You say he may have the quirk to be a hero, but personality-wise, he is far from it. The worst thing to being a hero, he is a villain, and it's time for you to accept that. Your other selves have. Why can't you? With then, Izuku began tearing even more and more, wanting to deny these words, but he knows it. He believes it. He absolutely understands them all too well. Within, the Midoriya family began to tear up even more as Ryuji soon goes into that of his head to explain the situation to the other sentient quirks inside of Izuku. With then soon, weeks have now gone by since the incident, and Izuku and his mother have not decided to press charges against those of his attackers after all. Not only that, the case between that of Izuku's bullies and Bakugo will also be dropped on the obligation of basically blacklisting each and every one of Izuku's attackers from ever attending that of a hero school, including Bakugo. And if they don't take the deal, they will be basically sent to that of juvenile hall instead. Because if they go to juvie, that will make their, chances of going to a hero school, especially Bakugo, even worse than before. Because it would be indefinite, because no school would want that of a person with a juvenile hall criminal record involved in their school, unless that they have the potential of being a great hero. Bakugo, on the other hand, has that potential, but as long as he continues to feed into that big-ass ego of his, no chance in hell he'll ever be the hero that he says he's going to be. So, many of them had to take the blacklist deal, so that means they can't go to any school that has that of a hero program. When Bakugo heard this, he planned to basically go to Izuku and basically blow him up to the itty-bitty pieces that he always wanted to do. However, this is also another fine for that of Bakugo, and especially the Bakugo family as well, to basically a restraining order that will last for over 20 years. Nobody, neither Mitsuki, Masaru, or even that of Katsuki can go anywhere near the Bakugos. And if they basically violate this restraining order, then they will see that of criminal recompense. Mitsuki was completely shocked and caught off guard about all of this. To be honest, she wanted to know why her childhood best friend would do this, but after finding out the situation and the reasoning why, she can't help but understand. It's the duty of a mother to protect their child. Even though she's always on Katsuki's ass about every little thing, she does it to basically make sure to get all the goddamn praise and becoming so goddamn egocentric. But it seems like it never worked at all, which basically caused this situation. Her losing that of her former best friend after all. As for Bakugo, he couldn't help but be even more furious. Not only that he was blacklisted from going to even UA and any other hero school, but now if he goes to basically see the damn nerd, he's going to be arrested either way. If anything, he blames Izuku for everything. Blames Izuku for ruining his life. Or rather, he blames that red-haired Izuku for ruining his life. It's bad enough that he has that of scars on his face. Because unlike the others that got that of first-degree burns, Bakugo got that of second-degree burns, which would cause that of, which will basically will actually have that of serious scarring, which now shows that of a badge of, his failure of always winning and always being the strongest. Because of this, Bakugo will swore vengeance on Izuku one day. But until then, he's going to need to make sure that he can become a hero. He will be a hero. However, originally he did ask if he's going to have that of a damn restraining order. He can't follow it since they go to the same school. Unfortunately, or fortunately for Izuku, on the other hand, or the both of them, Izuku alongside Inko will basically be moving away from that of nearing the residence where they normally live at. And Izuku will be going to that of a different school. This school will be Somei Private School Academy, after all. To pay for this private school, Izuku had to go through that of the had to work with that of the HPSC to help him master his quirk, of course. But turns out this was also a way for the HPSC to slowly and growly corrupt Izuku to have them join them after all, which led to Izuku now naming Ryuji. And since those couple of days have now passed, Izuku began to try to awaken the other version of his quirks, but it's slowly happening and not gradually happening. As for Ryuji, on the other hand, since even though he's a sentient quirk that has taken the form of Izuku, he's still somewhat Izuku in some ways. For example, he's able to manipulate and control his flames in any way he sees possible, even creating that of different forms of weapons and even able to control his flames to allow him to even fly, just like he did when he was fighting against Bakugo behind the school alleyway. After all, because of this good control over his flames, Ryuji is already on the higher form of being able to being Izuku's most used and most prevalent quirk right now, which has grown quite a bit. As for Izuku, he's no longer on the medications that were supposed to suppress the voices of his quirks, no longer giving him depression. He's a lot more open, a lot more cheerful, a lot more happy, and even gone back to the version of him that you would see in canon, actually. Still stuttering and nervous around almost everybody, but at least he still has the smile that he always had as well. Especially when he sees heroes, of course. But due to the years of constantly having those medications and everything else, the sentient quirks inside of his head still have those lingering effects from Izuku's mind and will alone. But even so, he's still able to at least become somewhat sociable. Not entirely. When he arrived at Somei Private School Academy, at first it was pretty well. People welcomed him to be pretty easily. Some were a little bit hesitant around him, given that they can tell that he's from that of a casual family. But just like everybody else, they also come from that of, common families as well. There are only a few. Even though Somei is a private school, there's not really a lot of, people that come from wealthy backgrounds. Hell, if anything, only 25% of Somei come from wealthy families, while the remaining 85% of Somei come from common family backgrounds after all. Hell, only a few, students come from that of pro-hero families that don't really make that much, but even so, still enough to put their kids into that of school such as Somei. But even so, they were all welcoming and even willing to welcome Izuku into the school, especially a certain blue-haired boy that came to Izuku on his first day. As Izuku was preparing to have lunch, the boy basically walked up to him as Izuku was about to grab his things. But then soon, Ryuji, also wearing that of a Somei school uniform as well, stands in front of Izuku right next to his desk. But then Izuku saying, Ryuji, where do you say, what the hell do you want, Four Eyes? And saying, Midoriya, you do know using your quirk in school is saying, sorry, Ryuji's like this a lot. I did tell you that my quirk is sentience, within saying, pardon me. Allow me to fully introduce myself. My name is Tenya Ida. I'm your classmate. I'm more surprised that we are able to, spend time together after the summer was over, to be honest. But even so, I would still like to welcome you personally to Somei, bowing his head before offering a handshake as Ryuji couldn't help but narrow his eyes a little bit, but before realizing that the kid didn't have that hostile intentions basically stepped aside, allowing him close to his quirk user. With then Izuku shaking the tall, blue-haired, glasses-wearing young man's hand as well, saying, "It's a pleasure to meet you too." With then Ida began smiling, saying, "Now then, I would like to show you around if I can," saying, "It's okay. I mean, you don't have to, but I insist. I would like to make a good impression here at, well, Some after all. Many people here always, well, believe that people who come to Some are basically stuck up and, well, and always come from wealthy families. Many of us just come from that of well-off families, or it is true, some of us do come from wealthy and quite prestigious families, but many of us just come from well-off families and casual families as well. I hope that I could show you around to dispel some of your, well, worries in case." Within soon, Ryuji saying, "Don't worry, dude. Izuku has never really thought about that. Far from it." Within, Izuku blushing a bit, saying, "Ryuji," with then soon, he's saying, "Well then, please, just allow me to do what I can do." Within, Izuku was about to speak up, but then Ryuji saying, "How about we just go to lunch and we talked with each other there? I think that would be a best way to, break the ice. How does that sound?" Within, Ida speaking up saying, "That will work for me. Thank you, Ryuji-san." Within saying, "Just call me Ryuji. Nothing, no honorifics. I don't like that shit." Within, Ida saying, "So vulgar," saying, "Piss off. You're gonna go or what?" With then soon materializing back in light as he goes back inside Izuku's head. Within, Izuku basically scratching the back of his head in nervousness, saying, "Sorry about him," saying, "Sentient quirks are quite mysterious, I will not lie. But I will say this. I still wish to welcome you as that of both a classmate and student of Some, Midoriya." With then the two walking as Izuku couldn't help but smile, realizing that he did make a first friend at Some. During his time at Some, he even began making even more friends. Not as close as what he did with Ida, but at least somewhat casual, more like casual friends after all. Even some students from that of rich families actually began to hang out with Izuku as well. However, outside of Some though, Izuku still begins to train himself day in and day out, hoping to awaken at least one of his quirks, while Ryuji is also working on his flames by taking out certain practice dummies and also facing against certain, robots as well. With then Izuku now feeling something coming from his head, two somethings, as he gets out of a splitting headache. With then soon, Ryuji begins to feel this pain as well, saying, "So you idiots finally started to show up. It's about fucking time." As then, in that of the modern team room, as multiple quirk scientists alongside that of a few HPS agents, even like that, the current director of the HPSC, that of a, somewhat large woman with that of slick back green hair and looking at least in that she looks like at least in her, early 50s, with then looking down, that of an uninterested look on her face. Within, one of the signs saying, "Quirk activity happening with Midoriya." Within, another saying, "It seems like he is awakening another sentient quirk." Within, soon, the agent from that came to his hospital room about that of a few months back, Agent Katakuri, with then saying, "It looks like it just took time." With then the doctor saying, "Just as the records state, it seems that Izuku Midoriya needs to build up energy within inside of his body, which allow his quirks to take that of physical form outside in that of the real world from his head. Whatever this energy is, it seems that Midoriya must be able to build up over time. So, possibly, within the director saying it's most likely he won't be able to awaken another one in at least another few months or possibly years from now. Continue to study his quirk. With then soon one of the doctors saying, actually, with this, Midoriya will be able to give us a lot more better info about his own quirk. He has been writing journals and notes about his quirk for the past couple of days. Even that, fire sentient quirk Ryuji has been keeping that of a notebook for Izuku about certain techniques of his fire. With then, soon, the director can help but say, this kid, he's the perfect gold mine. If anything, he'll be perfect if Hawks begins to go rogue, just like that of Lady Nagant. With then, soon, Katakuri can up and say, ma'am, if all due respect, we wouldn't have to need that if you were a lot more upfront with that of Nagant. And you just allowed her to allowed her to do her own thing. None of this would have happened if the original president wasn't so cruel after all. With then, soon, the director could help but look at the agent saying, I'll ask for your opinion if I need it, Agent Katakuri. Within, he couldn't help but sigh, saying, yes, ma'am. As the light begins to die down, soon, two figures begin to emerge from that of Izuku. As one figure, having that looking just like Izuku, however, instead of his hair being red or green, instead his hair is that of a lightish blue, and crackling through that of his hands is that of blue lightning as well. And not only that, looking at his face, which again is still Izuku, however, instead of that of Ryuji, which had that of a true, constantly always pissed off look, this one having that of a more calm and rational look, not even looking like he doesn't even show any emotion whatsoever. As for the other one, he looks just like Izuku as before, however, instead he does have green hair, however, it's a lot more brighter than Izuku's. Not only that, he has that of a pretty big smile on his face. With then as his arms are crossed, but you could see wind basically coming all around his body. As then Izuku on that of his knees and hands on the floor as well, as he's basically trying to catch his breath, as he feels completely and utterly exhausted. Within, seeing the other two, as then they begin to grab Izuku by his arms and basically hold him on that of his legs. With the one with that of the light blue hair saying, we got you, Izuku. Just take your time and breathe. Within, the lightest green Izuku can up and speak up, also say, yeah, just take your time and breathe in and out. After just seeing that you're able to awaken both of us at the same time proves that you basically spent a lot of your energy bringing us out of your head. With Izuku saying, you two, I've heard your voices before. Then soon, Izuku saying, you both are sentient quirks just like Ryuji. With then, the blue-haired one couldn't help but nod, as the bright green one couldn't help but have that of a toothy smile with his eyes closed at Izuku. Within Ryuji basically clapping his hands saying, well, it's about damn time. I was wondering I figured you two would be the ones to come out first. Shame. I was actually expecting that other guy to actually come out instead. With then, soon, the light blue one saying, whose fault is that, Ryuji? With then, soon, Ryuji growling saying, hey, piss off. With then, soon, the light green one saying, oh, come on, guys, no fighting. This is an Amendus Day. I mean, besides, we got an audience after all. With then, soon, hearing that, the other three, alongside that of Izuku, couldn't help but look at the window. As soon Izuku wonders, saying, what's gonna happen to me now? Now that you guys have come out. Within the light blue one saying, now it's about time you actually begin to learn how to use us, or rather your quirk, properly. No matter what the HPSC has for us, we'll make you the hero that you always meant to be, no matter what, and no matter who stands in our way. With that, Izuku, for some reason, felt quite reassured by his words. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. Yeah, this was basically another setup chapter. And yeah, I basically fucked over Bakugo's career in this. I'm sorry, not sorry, after all. I told you guys this before. I don't hate Bakugo, but I'm still not a full-fledged Bakugo fan. Just because he's now had that a full-on character growth now doesn't mean that I still have to like the guy, and that won't change. So yeah. Any rate, as for the two other sentient quirks, yeah, one's a lightning user while the other's a wind user. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm more surprised that you guys didn't really ask if the first one besides Ryuji was going to be a lightning user. I was debating on that or Ryuji, but surprisingly, I did a coin flip. So Ryuji basically won out for the first chapter. So yeah. Any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date with my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my side channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All link in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and I hope you all take care. Take it away, Shiro.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!